Okay, so this is for the subject strategic business analysis, and the topic for this one is pricing strategies for wholesale marketing. Okay, have to take note of that. This is only applicable for wholesale marketing, and this is an article from wholesalesuiteplugin.com. Okay, so let's go over the contents. Pricing is the process where a business sets a specific price for selling their product or service. So this price is arrived at after considering a few things: how much it costs to produce, what are the marketplace conditions, competition, okay, things like that. And then other things: business brand, quality of the goods and services, how much they can get the products or services for. Okay, so there are four main aspects of financial modeling, and pricing is just one of them. So the others, product promotion and place, essentially the four piece of marketing or the marketing mix. Okay, pricing is a very important aspect of marketing. Normally, there are certain people who would consider pricing, as a factor before deciding whether to buy something or not. So first of, me personally, the first thing that I look at is, of course, the design or the quality of the product, whether I'm going to like it. Do I like it or not? Okay. After that, the next question would be, how much is it? Can I afford it? Okay. If it's a yes, then I'm probably going to buy it. If the answer is no, then goodbye. Okay. So pricing is again a very important aspect of marketing. Uh, it's one consideration before people buy something. Wholesale businesses also need to select the pricing strategies that will enable them to grow and expand in the long term. How you price your products and services can actually determine if your wholesale business will stay open or flop due to low returns and possible bankruptcy. Okay. There are different types of pricing strategies you can use in wholesale marketing. The list is rather long, but a few will be outlined here in the article. Okay. So first one is demand pricing. Okay, this is essentially based again on demand. If the people would like this product, or people are looking for this particular product and they would be willing to pay to get this product, then there is essentially a demand, and of course, the higher the demand, the higher the price that you can charge for it. Okay, and if the demand goes low again, you might be forced to lower the price as well. Okay. Normally, this is again applicable for businesses like in hospitality and management, airlines, hotels. Okay, but since this is for wholesale, a product that is in need or very much needed currently. Okay. Also known as dynamic pricing, it is affected by consumer demand. Based on the perceived value of a product or service, it includes price skimming, price point, bundle pricing, penetration pricing, and other pricing strategies. Prices of products or services can increase due to, bad weather, festive periods, are seasonal or peak periods, or in the case of national disasters, because there's a possibility that some supply have been destroyed. Okay, so the price of a product or service increases as there is a likelihood that the price will also increase. Okay. Competitive pricing, also called strategic pricing, method that uses the prices set by other businesses, the competition, more or less using competitors' price to price your own product. So again, it doesn't have to be equal. It could be higher depending on how you're going to differentiate yourself. It could also be lower if you want to make the products more affordable, so that you can encourage more customers to buy from you instead, or if you want to become a cost leader. Okay, give or take a little percentage to fit what your product or service is worth. And then you have your cost plus pricing. Essentially, some of these have been discussed in the previous videos as well. One for setting prices of products and services. When setting the cost plus price, you take the cost of the raw materials, cost of production, and add them to the overhead cost of a product or service. To this total, the total cost of producing it, you add a markup percentage. This is your profit margin or the profit per unit. And this total sum is your cost plus price. Okay, as long as all the costs and sales have been accurately calculated, you will always run at a profit. Penetration pricing uses low prices to enter a new market. Okay, you want to encourage people to go to you to buy your product or service. So that's how you penetrate normally by offering the product or service at low prices. Okay, and then later on, once they're satisfied with the product or service, and they, in a way realize that you're really providing a better service or good than the others in the market, then essentially you can slowly increase the prices. Okay, in a way you're trying to, establish or build your reputation or brand that, hey, this company is producing or providing good service or good product. And so that could, help in marketing, word of mouth. And then more and more people would probably come to you. And, when it happens, then you can start increasing your price as well because your product or service is worth more, essentially. Okay. So to prevent them from entering the market with a similar product in a competition, because they will have to make their prices lower. So you start low, okay, and then over time you increase the product until its actual value, and then that also deters the competition, the other people from offering the same product because by then you're already offering the products at this price. But then if they want to penetrate the market, they would have to start low as well. Okay. And then you have price skimming, skim the cream pricing, used by businesses with a strong competitive advantage. So essentially, you have your brand or reputation for providing quality goods or services. You are known for it, and so in a way, you can price your goods or services much higher than all the others. Okay. So they enter the market with high priced products and services. This is to gain the most revenue. So essentially there's a perceived high value, right? To get an immediate return on production costs before or other businesses can come in with similar cheaper products or services. Okay? Later in the product cycle, the companies will gradually moderate their prices to accommodate customers with more moderate price takes. Okay? Example, Apple. Okay. No matter what their pricing is at that level, and they essentially it's going to be because customers who would strive to earn or save money to get their products. Okay, they're not going to lower their prices anytime soon, or maybe never. Economy pricing, a very familiar pricing strategy with retailers and wholesalers. Economy pricing is a basic low-cost marketing method. It keeps the prices of goods low, targeting sales at a particular segment of the market that is very price sensitive. Okay? Ordinary citizens, those that are in the lower class of the society, so very sensitive to prices. And so there are certain, businesses who would like to enter the market and offer the same products at much lower prices to cater to that particular market group. Okay, economy pricing. Psychological pricing, a common pricing technique used by businesses. A minor difference in prices is a huge difference for customers. The use of 9.99, less than $10, 199.99, less than $200, things like that. Or sometimes 99.75 here in the Philippines, right? Okay. So in a way, it's perceived as much cheaper because it's lower than the whole amount. And also, with regards to psychological pricing as well, there's the conception or misconception, perception that products or services that are priced high are of good quality, and then that products that are priced low are of low quality. Okay, so it's a misconception. It's not necessarily true, but there is that psychological thing going on in the minds of the consumers that they might be reluctant to avail a cheap product because it's very cheap. They're going to ask themselves, why is it of low quality? That's why you're pricing it low. Or that's why it's important as well for companies to properly communicate that the reason they're pricing it at this low amount is for more people to afford it, okay? Because they're, let's say, just trying to help out more and more people, okay? Discount pricing strategy that offers products and services at a reduced price. Discount prices can come in the form of seasonal discounts, loyalty rebates, etc. Clearance sale. If the what do you call this? If the businesses would like to, renew their inventories, they'd like all the current inventories to be sold, okay, so they can offer them at discounts. But again, the disadvantage of offering discounts is that it could cause resentment for those people who already bought the products or service for, at the regular prices. And they might be reluctant later on to buy at regular prices, thinking that, the company is probably going to offer discounts soon. So I'll wait for the discounts to be announced, right? And then there's also the possibility that from the moment the discount is announced up to the moment that the discount happen. So the sales volume is going to be very low, and then it would spike during the discount days, okay, during the sale period. Now that we have geographic pricing. Pricing strategy is one where different prices are charged in different geographical locations or markets for the exact same product or service. So for example, instructional materials are sold in Canada will be sold at a cheaper rate in Cameroon due to the disparity in wages, the economy, and the economy, etc. So same product or same service, but since they are, let's say, produced in different areas or different countries, labor cost is much cheaper in Asian countries, and then labor, wage rate is essentially very high in Western countries, okay, in the U.S. I think in the U.S. the minimum rate per hour is around $12 or $15. If you translate it to Philippine peso, that's around 600 to 750 per hour, right? And here in the Philippines, here in Quezon, our daily wage rate is 373 pesos minimum wage, and then in Manila I think it's around 500 to 600 per day, right? So there's the disparity, and so if we produce the same product, if you produce a product here in the Philippines, it would be, cheaper. You have a meal for 150 pesos, and then in the US, you can buy a burger or a meal for like $3.5. So that's essentially, it's 150, around 150 still. But, it's just a burger or it's just a sandwich. But for an actual meal, you'd probably spend like $10 to $20, if it's sold at a fast food chain or a restaurant. All right. But of course, it's a different story if it's homemade or home cooked on your own, right? And then, again, it could also consider the fact that in a particular area there is no competition yet. You're the sole, sole provider of that particular product. Then you can price your products or service higher compared to another, location wherein there are existing competition. So you might, with that presence of competition, you might find that the product or service is priced much lower. Okay, so there are other factors to be considered there. Price bundling, also known as product bundling, so package deal, something like that. A strategy used when two or more products or services are priced together as a package with a single price. Essentially, if you buy the single items, the total amount is much higher compared to the bundled price, okay? You're essentially offering it at a bundled price because you're buying more products, so you're expecting that they're a bit, lower in price as well. So let's say the individual products total would cost $300, but if you buy them as a bundle, you can, let's say, purchase them for 280 or $275. Okay, so there's a discount of like $25, $30, something like that. Okay, so for example, you bundle shampoo and conditioner together, or makeup kits. You have your lipstick, you have your foundation, eyeshadow, eyeliner, things like that. Okay. Or food products. So you have your grocery items, let's say spaghetti package. So you have your pasta, the sauce, the sausage, the cheese, okay, the corned beef, right? Or salad package. So you have the fruit salad, you have the condensed milk, you have the Nestle cream, you have the cheese as well. Okay. So it's a bundle. You bundle products together so that you can offer them at as a lower price, but the volume, the sales volume would be higher since they're buying more. Okay. More items. These various types of pricing strategies are some that you can use in your wholesale marketing. Essentially, you can also use it in retail to see what works for your business and which ones to discard. For instance, the cost-plus pricing, more effective when used in a contractual agreement, while demand-based pricing may cause customer dissatisfaction and threaten your customer loyalty. Not really. Some others would also have that. Make sure you carefully study the market and customers' reactions to certain products and calculate what you want to get from your product and try to achieve that with the right pricing strategy. So you also have to, be sensitive with how your customers are reacting to a certain price change, okay? Or, maybe initial pricing, okay? If you notice that, nobody is buying your product, then you might want to lower the price a little bit and a little bit more kung wala pa ring taker talaga. Okay? Or pwede rin kasi na ang may problem is the product itself. You might not know na meron palang existing na much better product there, or they're very, very loyal to another one. So you might want to differentiate the product, innovate it a bit more. Okay? So that's it for this one. Thanks and bye.